Have you ever wondered why General Douglas MacArthur loved the Philippines? Picture this. The year is 1935, and a man of significant stature steps foot on an island nation known as the Philippines. This man is none other than Douglas MacArthur, a name that would become synonymous with the history of this beautiful country. Born to a military family, MacArthur had a life destined for service. He had seen and experienced the world through the lens of duty and responsibility, but nothing quite prepared him for the experience that was the Philippines. His arrival marked the beginning of a new chapter, not only in his life, but in the history of the Philippines as well. MacArthur was appointed as the military advisor to the Commonwealth Government of the Philippines. It was a role of great importance, entrusted with the responsibility of preparing the nation's military defense in the face of impending global conflict. But beyond the official duties and titles, it was during this time that MacArthur began to develop a deep connection with the country and its people. The Philippines, with its rich cultural tapestry and resilient spirit, left a profound impression on MacArthur. He was captivated by the country's natural beauty, from its emerald green rice fields to its pristine beaches. But it was the spirit of the Filipino people that truly touched him. But what happened during the war that deepened MacArthur's love for the Philippines? Well, let's dive right in. As the Second World War raged, the Philippines found itself in the eye of the storm. The islands were invaded by Japanese forces in late 1941, marking the beginning of a devastating occupation. General Douglas MacArthur, then the commander of the United States Army Forces in the Far East, was at the forefront of the defense. His troops, though outnumbered and outgunned, fought bravely. However, the situation became dire, and by early 1942, the American and Filipino forces were pushed back to the Bataan Peninsula and the island fortress of Corregidor. In one of the most challenging periods of the war, the fall of Bataan and Corregidor was inevitable. As the situation worsened, MacArthur was ordered to leave the Philippines by President Roosevelt. This was a heart-wrenching decision for him, but he made a solemn vow as he departed: "I shall return." This was not a hollow promise. MacArthur was deeply committed to the cause of the Philippines. His determination to liberate the islands was unshakable. His departure marked a turning point in his relationship with the Philippines, transforming it into something much more profound. MacArthur's promise became a beacon of hope for the Filipinos during the dark days of the Japanese occupation. This pledge was not just about military strategy. It was a testament to MacArthur's deep affection for the Philippines and its people. His words resonated with the Filipinos, symbolizing their shared hope and determination for freedom. The general's return in 1944 was triumphant. His relentless pursuit to liberate the Philippines from Japanese rule was a testament to his unyielding resolve and love for the islands. His promise wasn't just kept. It was fulfilled with an unwavering commitment that echoed in every corner of the archipelago. The war etched the Philippines deep into MacArthur's heart. His experiences during these tumultuous years only deepened his affection for the country and its people, forging an indelible bond that would last a lifetime. Did you know that MacArthur's "I shall return" was not just a promise, but a vow he kept? In October 1944, the moment of reckoning arrived. General Douglas MacArthur, as promised, made his triumphant return to the Philippines. With him, he brought an army, a sense of hope, and an unwavering commitment to liberate the country from the clutches of the Japanese forces. The journey to liberation was far from easy. The Battle of Leyte Gulf, one of the largest naval battles in history, marked the beginning of the end for the Japanese forces in the Philippines. The Allied forces, under MacArthur's command, clashed with the Japanese in a fierce and decisive battle. The victory at Leyte Gulf signaled that the tide of the war was turning. Following the successful campaign in Leyte, MacArthur's forces then moved on to Luzon, the largest and most populous island in the Philippines. The Battle of Manila, a month-long urban battle, resulted in a hard-fought victory for MacArthur's forces. The city was left devastated, but the Filipino spirit remained unbroken. MacArthur's return and the subsequent liberation of the Philippines were not just military victories. They were also deeply personal for him. The Philippines had been his home, and the Filipino people, his friends. He had seen firsthand the atrocities of war and the suffering of the people he had come to regard as his own. His commitment to their freedom was unshakable. As the dust of battle settled, the Philippines emerged from the war, scarred but free. MacArthur, a soldier and a friend, had kept his promise. He had returned, and with him, he brought freedom back to the islands. His love for the Philippines and its people was evident in his actions, in his dedication, and most importantly, in his unwavering commitment to their liberation. And so MacArthur kept his promise. He had returned, and in doing so, he had helped the Philippines reclaim their freedom, their dignity, and their future. But how did MacArthur's love for the Philippines continue even after the war, you may ask? Well, let's delve into that. In the aftermath of World War II, the Philippines was left in ruins, its cities devastated, and its people traumatized. But amidst this desolation, there was a beacon of hope. That beacon was none other than General Douglas MacArthur. His role didn't end with the liberation of the country. Instead, it extended into the reconstruction of the war-torn nation. MacArthur, with his profound love for the Philippines, stepped up and played a significant role in its reconstruction. His efforts were not limited to physical rebuilding alone. He aimed for a holistic renewal, fostering economic recovery, promoting education, and supporting political stability. He worked tirelessly, advocating for international aid and resources to help the Philippines rise from the ashes. But MacArthur's love for the Philippines wasn't confined to the immediate post-war years. Even after his departure, he continued advocating for the country. He used his influence to encourage American support for the Philippines, fostering a strong bond between the two nations that continues to this day. And his legacy? Oh, it's very much alive and palpable. His memory is cherished, his contributions celebrated. Streets bear his name, statues stand in his honor, and his words, "I shall return," are etched in the hearts of Filipinos. The admiration and respect for MacArthur extend beyond the older generations who lived through the war. Young Filipinos too learn about his heroism, his dedication, and most importantly, his unwavering love for their homeland. So, you see, MacArthur's love for the Philippines wasn't just a wartime phenomenon. It was a lifelong affair, deeply ingrained in his actions, his advocacy, and his enduring legacy. It was a love story that transcended battles and political borders, cementing his place in the annals of Philippine history. MacArthur's love for the Philippines was not just during the war, it was a lifelong affair. So why did General MacArthur love the Philippines? A question that has echoed through the annals of history, and the answer lies in the intricate tapestry of his experiences and the profound relationships he built. We've traced MacArthur's journey from his early days, where he was just a young military advisor. The Philippines, with its rich culture and warm-hearted people, welcomed him with open arms, and he reciprocated this affection wholeheartedly. Fast forward to the war years, and we see a man driven by duty and honor. His vow of "I shall return" wasn't merely a promise to liberate a country from the clutches of war, but a testament to his deep-seated connection to the Filipino people. His successful return and the subsequent liberation of the Philippines only strengthened his bond with the country. In the aftermath of the war, MacArthur's legacy was etched in the hearts of the Filipinos. He didn't just help rebuild a nation, he became part of its history, culture, and identity. His love for the Philippines was unwavering, enduring, and above all, genuine. But let's not forget, this was just one chapter in the grand narrative of history. There are countless stories of influential figures who found their second homes in places far from their birthplace. Their reasons, like MacArthur's, are deeply personal and profoundly impactful. We've reached the end of our journey today, but the quest for knowledge never ceases. As we continue to unravel the mysteries of history, we invite you to join us on this fascinating expedition. In 5 seconds, a subscribe button will appear on your screen. Click on it to stay updated with our latest explorations into the lives of history's most impactful figures. Subscribe for more amazing content, and keep wondering why the world's most influential people found their second homes in places so far from where they were born. Until next time, keep wondering. Don't miss out on future explorations and discoveries. Hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated with our new content. Your journey of wonder continues with every video. Stay connected and engaged on social media. Continue the conversation, follow us. Thank you for being a part of the Have You Ever Wondered community. Keep wondering, keep discovering. Until next time.